Ready to go.
Get a bag, get a bag, get a bag. Oh, shit.
It's only 2 o'clock in the morning, Mike.
Should be about 1 for me. Let's see by that. I tried to do videos.
Huh?
On YouTube, I did videos just keep playing in a row. I don't know where I fucking left off at.
That's the guy's name I couldn't think of, Mr. Means. That's Mr. Thompson's inside man, well, one of many inside men.
Well, everybody's backstabbing everybody.
Yeah, everybody sucks.
Yeah, basically. There's nobody nice. Everybody's got an angle.
Yeah.
Come on. Shit.
Where's it supposed to be?
What did you do? Get to put it in the icebox? Oh, you got cover.
Oh, what?
Your shit is blowing up, doesn't it?
Almost made it that long.
Winter is here.
Yeah.
How long does it take for the fire to come on and...
A few minutes.
What, just put it up?
I see they all gather around this thing.
They know where the heat is.
My cat did the same thing. He went right to the baseboard heater and yeah, and he wanted that heat on.
Probably somebody on the bed in there. The heat bed.
You got the electric blanket on yet?
There's a bed up on there.
Almost got there.
Where is she?
Rag mop was sleeping in the little bed on top.
Top?
Yeah.
That's the one heated.
Ah. He peeked one eye open, so it wasn't you. And there she went. Oh, we didn't drink the eggnog.
I'll buy another one. That'll be gone before Friday. I'll pick up another one.
Going by morning.
You're gonna drink that on the way home. Who the fuck are you
I'm thinking
kidding?
about taking a swig now.
You see?
And then these potatoes and kielbasa ain't gonna last much more than when I walk in the door. We're kind of hungry now.
I mean, were you waking up to hear him equating a heroin addiction to his times when he got poisoned by the Chinese restaurant? Yeah, he said the lady's squirming with the heroin, kicking the heroin habit. He goes, oh yeah, I know what that's like, just like when I had food poisoning from the Chinese restaurant. Get the fuck out of
What
here.
food poisoning? You said you've never had food poisoning.
Yeah.
Well, that's unconfirmed.
Light up.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there it goes. I see sparks now. All right.
How many more episodes before we're up to date?
Oh,
Another 5?
watch too.
We watched 3, I thought, didn't we?
We've got 11, so if we're up to 7,
I think it cuts off at 13.
we've got 5 more. And you'll should have 12 by next week.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Maybe I have one each, like Walking Dead.
5 or 6.
All right.
Alright, boys.
All right, this is gonna suck going out there now. All right, Mike, good night. Got your phones and everything, Scott? Didn't forget nothing? Mike's going straight to bed. I just hear
Feel the
that already.
Arctic blast.
Oh shit! Motherfucker! That's
Oh shit!
oh. Well, he's wearing freaking shorts. Wearing freaking shorts in this middle of winter, you know. Yeah, it's 24 degrees out here. You're freaking wearing shorts.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be 24 degrees.
Actually, they've been saying all week long to be in the 20s tonight. Brr. Why do you think I'm wearing all these coats and shit? I knew it was gonna be cold. Alright. Now I gotta look up and see when the Johnny Torrio hit was. Well, they didn't kill him. They hit him, but they didn't kill him. And he just retired and he turned it all over to Al. And then, you know the rest.
Boy, it's gonna suck walking from the car up to my house. Fuck. Ooh.
So don't walk, run.
Yeah. Yeah, fished out the key.
The next time you'll bring some long pants with you.
They're in the back seat. I think it was gonna be quite this fucking cold. Well, cold on, but it's the wind that I don't like.
Yeah, it's a windy night. It's cold. It's cold as blowing in. It's gonna be like this all day tomorrow too, I think. So I plan an indoor day tomorrow. I get down and shop, pack 3-4 things for eBay, and that's that.
I thought they were gonna get the FBI. Well, I guess they're gonna get. I guess he's pretty much sunk now.
Well, I don't know where they're getting this business with Hoover going after the liquor stuff, because he insisted his entire career there was no mafia. There was no organized crime network. There was no commissions, nothing like that. Over and over, even in the face of overwhelming evidence, he still insisted there was none.
Really?
It was just individual criminals in various cities, little organizations. They weren't connected.
Oh, he
at all,
acknowledged
you know?
there was a mob and a.
Yeah, there's no international mafia. There's no blah blah blah. You know,
It wasn't a Walmart chain.
Yeah, because he never considered the liquor people to be a big threat. His focus was on
Communism.
outside espionage, communism,
Yeah.
anarchism, stuff like that. The big picture on the outside. Of course, eventually it'll be the Nazis and the Japanese that he'll be sending his agents against, you know, and then the Soviets after that.
Yeah. I know that.
But he amassed a personal file of information on every public figure, and everybody was terrified of what might be in there.
The Rosenbergs.
Everybody. No, I'm talking about major public figures, presidential candidates, presidents, you know, Supreme Court justices, you know, senators and congressmen. And he wielded a great deal of power. Nobody really wanted to cross him too much because they didn't know what he knew. They all had. Politicians always have skeletons in the closet. It's in their nature to have it, and he knew them all. And when he died, there was a mad scramble to find those files and destroy as much of them as possible. There's still major gaps in the files. Shit that just disappeared.
Who's?
Everybody's. Hoover's files, his personal files. They kind of did a fade after he died, and you know, because people got rid of stuff. Just look at all the shit he had on the Kennedys, you know? You know about Jack Kennedy's affairs and everything else. That's how come he was able to keep that position for so long. You know, other federal agencies, the heads come and go regularly with each presidential administration, but he was always there. Because nobody really wanted to get in his way.
Well, I like how they left it off where the kid's spilling his guts to Mr. Means.
Who appears to be in league with him, warning him about carrying monogrammed handkerchiefs and shit.
Well, Mr. Mean seems to be kind of...
He's in it for himself.
Yeah. He's not, yeah.
They got Dougherty, and he was Dougherty's guy, so to stay out of jail, he's cooperating with them now. And the funny part of it is, at this point in 1924, Hoover's right. There isn't a nationwide mafia. There isn't worldwide, organized crime.
Conspiracy theory. Yeah.
That's not going to happen. This is when it all starts to coalesce. By the 1950s, there is such an organization because it's had all these years to grow and form and everything else. But in 1924, there just isn't. It's individual cities, each with its little criminal boss, and any cooperating they do with each other is because of money. It has nothing to do with any kind of organization. No master chief at the top or anything of that shit. That won't come until after 1931 when they form the commission.
God, some weird city lights in here.
Yeah.
Freezing cold.
There's a guard here too now.
Oh,
Mike says there's a guard, yeah.
Ah.
Parks in front of the gate somewhere. Freezing his ass off all night in a car.
Gotta keep shitheads out now.
Well, yeah, they don't want any further vandalism now.
Right.
Being revamped.
Look at that. Floodlights.
Yeah.
Can't remember what level of security that's called. You had,
In a place like this?
yeah.
At all levels. They had people that could come and go if they chose. They had people that were voluntarily incarcerating themselves or on, court-ordered 72-hour holds.
No, about the actual lights.
Oh, I don't know.
No, when I was in...
That's actually passive security. That's the lowest level.
Yeah.
But in that place, they had everything up to and including the criminally insane. People who were being involuntarily incarcerated and could not leave. The John Hinckley Jr. types, Although he is no longer incarcerated, as far as I understand. He is now allowed out on a regular basis.
Isn't he obsessed with Jodie Foster?
Yes, apparently still is. It's hard to... I heard the other day that because of all this, Kennedy assassination shit, they had his name prop up in these cable TV programs about assassins and all this other shit. And one of them was about the Reagan assassination. I'm thinking, it's been over 30 years, and 32 years now, and Reagan's gone. His presidency's gone. Most of the members of that era are leaving the scene now, and here's John Hinckley Jr. walking out of jail.
He fucked up James Grady.
Yes, he did.
Turned him into a vegetable.
Yeah, he shot 4 people that day. He's a paranoid schizophrenic, and he's never going to be cured. He is still a danger to everybody around him, including Jodie Foster.
Is he in jail or out of jail?
He's in an institution, but he's been allowed out on supervised visits since 1998. And they keep getting longer and longer and longer. He's even got a driver's license. And they had something in the paper about Charles Manson now getting married.
How come they didn't give him the death penalty?
Because he was found guilty by reason of insanity. And it was the case that led to insanity defense reform. I mean, clearly the man was insane. There's no doubt about that. He was a textbook case. He was insane. He suffered mental illness for many years, and this is the result. But I guess they couldn't keep him in there forever, unfortunately.
It's too bad.
Some people should be kept locked up forever because you never will really be able to take your eyes off them in a public setting. They're incapable of mixing with society and society being safe. This man has obsessions about women and shit like that he is incapable of having a normal relationship of any kind, and acts out these fantasies like this, killing people. That's too bad someone didn't just shoot the son of a bitch that day, be done with it. There was no Jack Ruby for him. But I thought that was fucking gruesome, what they did with Oswald's casket. Oh my God. Who the fuck buys something like that? a rotten casket because it was water damaged and soaked from fluids from the body and all decomposed and shit. You know, he rotted away in the damn thing. And somebody actually bought that. Some collector somewhere.
Where'd they get it from?
They exhumed him in 1981 as part of an investigation into whether or not putting to rest once and for all whether or not Oswald was actually in the grave. In fact, yes, he was. They did a second autopsy. He was positively identified, you know, by numerous people who had autopsied him in the first place and embalmed him and everything else. He was definitely there. You know, they found defects in the bone from a childhood injury he had. They identified him that, his dental records. But when they took him out, they found that the burial vault had cracked, allowing water inside, mixing with the fluids from the body, had caused extensive damage to the casket. So when they reburied him, they put his pretty well damaged remains in a new casket and put it in the ground again. But they kept the old casket without telling anybody. The funeral home did it without telling anybody. They had it there for like 30 years, and no one, you know, who knows why. And I guess maybe, you know, the place was being sold or whatever. Oh, look at this. We have Oswald's casket. Let's put it on eBay or whatever, you know.
How much did it sell for?
No idea. I don't think that was even made public.
I like the money in the desk.
Oswald's brother found out about it. And legally, he still owns that casket. He bought that casket. He paid for it. It's his property. And they had no right to dispose of it. And they're being sued now by the Oswald family because of it.
Now, how long is that going to take to resolve?
Who knows? They'll probably settle out of court for some undisclosed amount. But, I mean, come on. You know? What in the hell do you want that shit for?
For that reason, for the money.
Who would want that? And I'm just not the money, but who would want it? You know, a casket that somebody rotted away in. What kind of sick fuck even keeps something like that around? I don't care who rotted away in it.
That is pretty gruesome, though.
Especially a shithead like Oswald.
Right?
You know?
Yeah, it wasn't...
matter if it's anybody, but especially somebody like that. Let me get the fuck out of here.
Well, it's like Bernie Madoff's watch on Pawn Stars. Rick's like, oh, I want...
well, that was a Rolex at least. You know, you get a good watch.
$300,000. He's like, yeah, but it's Bernie Madoff's Rolex.
Yeah.
He stole, you know, retirement checks from little old ladies. This guy was a scumbag.
Yeah.
It's not like you got Kennedy's watch or something, you know. Famous president's Rolex or something. You got a fucking criminal stealing from people who didn't just about have money.
But I thought that bit with the kids, Oswald's kids, that was something else. You know, people felt sorry for his wife, who was separated from Oswald at the time of the assassination. She had 2 children, a little baby and an older daughter, and they were left basically destitute. So people sent donations from all over the country to help them out. And she ended up having a pretty good life. I mean, she remarried a man named Porter, I think, or something like that. Kids took the stepfather's name. You know, they had a normal upbringing with a normal family, which they never would have got from Oswald. And, you know, they went to school, they graduated, they got married, had kids, had careers. Now they're old themselves, but probably have grandchildren by now. But, you know, the best thing Oswald did was die. But Jack Ruby did the best possible favor for that family.
Now, what happened to Jack Ruby? He got shot, right?
No. He got arrested, put in jail. He died of liver cancer. I forget how soon after that. I mean, there were a lot of questions that died with Oswald, but...
So did he really get him with the Italian bolt action?
Well, the man did have the skills. It was possible to make the shots. You know, that's been proven beyond any doubt. He could have made the shot. The rifle he had was capable of making the shot. And we're talking about a man who was trained by the United States Marine Corps to shoot expert marksmen. So there's no question he did have the skill.
How many times did the FBI fire shots from that window over the years?
I don't know. I have no idea, but it's been tested over and over again.
Yeah.
Computer. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Where everything else.
CGI.
Yeah, all that shit.
Azimuth, reverse azimuth.
It's not really considered an enormously difficult shot. You know, you're shooting down at a very slow-moving vehicle with a high-powered rifle. And you're not shooting through heavy brush or anything like that. It's just air. That's just stuff on the floor.
What is that? What was that, a 308?
No, it was a 6.5 millimeter Italian Carcano rifle. World War II Italian rifle with a 4 periscope on it.
And of course, where is this thing in the FBI basement?
Yes, yeah, they have it. Ruby's pistol is in private hands.
Really?
Yes, it is, but not the Oswald rifle. No, that's
That's in the FBI basement. Then.
yeah, they have that.
The book depository is exactly the same. It's behind plexiglass.
Well, it's a museum.
Yeah. So when you go up there, it's behind.
Yeah, the 6th floor museum. Yeah.
When did that get closed and sealed off?
I had no idea.
Didn't the new 8mm footage surface?
Not that I'm aware of.
Or maybe that was in the 80s, a new one surfaced.
I don't know. None of it's really had any particularly new information that was, anything startling.
Yeah.
I mean, Oswald was a little nothing of a man who saw a way to make a name for himself for reasons in his own mind that he built
But who
up
was he in
against Kennedy.
cahoots with, if anyone?
Nobody. That's just it. Everybody thought he was a spy for the Russians. He wasn't. Maybe he was working for the Cubans. No.
The mob.
None of them wanted anything to do with him. They knew what he was. He was already a failed assassin before he went and shot Kennedy.
He was a Zach.
He had tried to kill someone. He tried to kill that general. I forget the general's name. Months before he killed Kennedy with the very same rifle, but he missed by a hair because he was firing through a window and the man's head moved at the last minute and just missed him. So he didn't kill him, and they never caught him for that. Didn't connect it to him until later on. So that shows he had the idea was there. He had this idea that Kennedy was a danger to Cuba and everything else. Although he did like things about Kennedy. He thought Kennedy was good on racial segregation, all that shit. But he felt he was a threat to Cuba and he had to send a message. So really the only message he wanted to send was, "Hi, I'm Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm a total nothing. History will never remember me unless I kill the President of the United States." That's what he did. And unfortunately, history will remember him.
Yeah.
Because if he had just lived a normal life, nobody would remember him now. We wouldn't know who he was. It's like all of these scumbags do this shit, They make fucking movies out of them. It was like that assassination thing on the cable TV the other day, the documentary.
Yeah.
And they're talking about Hinckley and how they're saying, how Hinckley will be, remembered now because of this. I was saying to myself, yeah, because of you assholes making this fucking movie.
Yeah.
And it was like you. That's why he's going to be remembered.
Well, they made fun of him in that movie Tommy Boy. At the end there, when David Spade's getting Rob Lowe. All right, just hold it right there, Lee Harvey.
Oh, Oswald.
Yeah. See, that's right. All right, everybody, and everybody goes on the floor. Have you done this before?
Yeah. Am I consorting with a known fellow?
Yeah. I wouldn't be consorting with a known bank robber, would I? No. Why? Son, did you climb the power lines when you were little? Why?
Yeah.
Or asked if he was eating paint chips. So I wonder what Mr. Redstone, is that his? I'll buy $150,000 worth of stock.
Yeah. Well, he was a gambler. And playing the stock market is a gambler's paradise, you know?
Well, now that, well, basically, so what did Rothstein say to Mrs. Thompson? Let's keep this between
Yes,
ourselves.
just keep this between us. You don't want your boss knowing who you related to, who really are, and I don't want him knowing who I am.
Nobody
so.
know, yeah, so it's not, yeah. But this is what's going to happen. I think eventually she'll get back with Nookie, and maybe that might come out. Well, Mr. Redstone,
As far as I know, I don't think she does get back with him.
that's too bad.
He does eventually marry another woman, I believe an actress or a singer or something like that.
We said he was married and divorced like 3-4 times.
Oh, yeah, he was. He was. Remember, he lives a long life.
Yeah, like to 60.
He died in the 1960s, yes, I believe in the early 60s sometime. I mean, he did do a stint in prison, but that wasn't till well after this period. Not until the 1940s, actually. Because eventually Nucky parlays Atlantic City into being a safe city, basically. A place where the commission could meet. You know, the individual members come, and it was like an open city for the mob. And of course, there was also a mafia boss that was operating there. But that was after Nucky's time. Scarfa? Was it Scarfa? I think so. Nicholas Scarfa.
I like in season 2 when the news reporters were laughing at that one guy. Who's in control of Atlantic City? I am. They're all laughing
Yeah,
at him.
still laughing. Yeah, okay. I know who the real power behind the throne is.
Yeah. So Nookie, he's no longer the treasurer.
No. Remember, like, it wasn't 2 episodes ago when he's talking to the bartender there down in Tampa.
Oh, Bette Midler.
Yeah. I was a mildly corrupt politician.
Eh.
What happened? Prohibition. Prohibition happened.
No, that's what he said.
I used to be a mildly corrupt politician.
I like her being the somewhat partner.
Yeah.
Or no, she's in charge of counting.
She's watching his action in South Florida.
Yeah, well, shithead there who accidentally killed.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell apparently this guy can't wipe his own ass. You know.
Well, actually, he had to kill the guy because the guy came there to kill him. Because Nucky said he wasn't going to invest, that he'd already told that crazy Southern guy that Nucky was a slam dunk. He was definitely in.
This guy's a fool though, because he gambles away his money.
Oh yeah, total idiot.
Yeah, degenerate gambler,
Yeah.
and I'm in debt.
Well, they're only paying him a finder's fee. That's all they're paying him. He's not a partner in the venture at all.
It'll be Meyer.
Yeah, it's Meyer Lansky. It's Nucky. It's
Luciano.
no, Luciano's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other guy, Mr. Pierce.
Yes. Now what's going to happen with now? What's his relation to Luciano?
Oh,
Mr. Pierce, whatever he did.
there's no relation.
Oh, I thought he knew him.
Well, he knows him, but he's not in business with him. You know, Pierce is from Louisiana, while Luciano's New York. Totally different spheres of influence.
I thought that he was the cousin or he knew him or something.
No. He just knew who he was because he knows Joe Mazzaria.
Oh.
He knows Joe the Boss.
Why did Luciano want to get out of this deal? What was the big...
Because he's been going behind Joe the Boss's back to do business with Nucky Thompson.
Oh.
And he knows that Joe the Boss is still pissed at Nucky, even though he did take the money. And technically they do have a peace. But Joe the Boss is going to have his own problems pretty soon. Of which Nucky's really not going to be a part of that, so... Because things in New York, well, they still have not introduced us to Salvatore Maranzano, and he is the other boss of New York, equally as powerful as Joe the Boss. And when they two of them start getting into it, that's going to require their full attention. They're not going to be paying attention to Atlantic City or Chicago or anywhere else.
And Al Capone's boss is kill that Irish fuck.
Yeah,
Is that what he
that's
said?
Johnny Torrio.
Yeah. What? We salt the roads? What is this?
This is calcium chloride.
Yeah, they salted the road.
Yes, they did. I
Out to
can
ruin
hear
my
it.
car
Yes,
early.
I can hear it eating your car right now.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a sure sign of winter. I guess it must be only Carmel that did it, because Patterson, we didn't see this. Pauling, there was none of this on the road.
I mean, it was a dusting. It wasn't.
Wonder if Brewster did it. That remains to be seen. Or maybe it's the state doing this. I'm not sure who takes care of this road. It could be the state.
Does Pat do this?
I don't think so. I think this is a state road.
Oh, no, does Pat drive the salt truck?
Yes. And of course, Chicago is going to experience its own war. In the 1920s, this was the decade of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
That was
among
until
others. I believe that was 1928, wasn't it?
I thought it was 32 or 33.
No. Al Capone was already in jail by 1931. He went to jail for tax evasion.
When did Elliot Ness start coming after him?
1930, 31. And there's a lot of other shit that happens before that. You know, we're seeing Al now in 24. He's only just starting to move up the ladder.
That movie, The Untouchables, was that pretty close?
See, over here, there's nothing on the road. No, it's dramatized. It's dramatized. For one thing, The Untouchables, it shows Elliot Ness personally throwing Frank Nitti off the roof of the Federal Building, when in fact, Frank Nitti was the man who took over after Al Capone went to prison. And eventually he gets in trouble himself and commits suicide, but that's years after that, in the 1940s. So he was never put away by Elliot Ness.
Al Capone did do jail in Philadelphia in the big house there.
And of course, more famously, and
Of course,
on the Rock.
that was later. But
Yeah. And then Al Capone gets out of prison and retires to Florida with a case of syphilis that he already has in the 1920s. He picked it up when he was in New York City because he used to fuck too many whores on Coney Island.
Yeah.
And he picked up a venereal disease out there, which he suffered from his whole life. So he died an agonizing death sometime in I think it was 1946.
What about the guy with the liver cancer there?
Well, he dies in a year.
You said that's going to be a painful death, huh?
Yes, because at that time they had no cures, they had no surgeries, they had no options. You died.
Slow, painful.
It don't matter if you stop drinking or not. It's too late. You died. You know, that's all there is to it. There are no transplants.
Can't believe he was saying about how he shot that Filipino girl. Got your ID on you?
Well, that was a very, very vicious war. Extremely vicious. On both sides. You know, the Filipino Moros did things to our soldiers over there that were unbelievably vicious, and we struck back. Sometimes they killed whole villages. You know, it's just the way it was.
You say you did shot her in the head?
Yeah, in the face. She refused to yield or whatever, refused to give her name, and so you just shot her. And what would happen was these villagers would get themselves all hopped up on drugs, take one of those big bolo knives, and they go screaming at the nearest American they saw walking down the street and just hack them to pieces. Right there, literally to pieces. And because they were on drugs, they would be shot 5, 6, 7 times, and they'd still be coming. They wouldn't even feel it. Not right away, anyway. That was our first real conflict with Islamic terrorism.
How come you had to respect the World War I vets? How come you had such a...
Well,
Okay.
he felt his son was killed in the First World War, and he felt it was a war for nothing, and he was right about that. World War I was completely fucked up by us. We got into it too late, you know, and President Wilson got sick before the peace conference. He ended up not being as big a part of it as he could have been, and we didn't have much influence in the peace. And if we had had more influence, maybe we could have stopped what became, you know, the browbeating of Germany and led eventually to World War I. The stupidity of the Versailles Treaty, all that shit, that put people like Hitler into power. Maybe we could have had a little influence to stop that. You know, our boys were told we were making the world safe for democracy. Go over there and always seem to be making it safe for was, you know, the same old shit to keep right on going. All these empires, this and that, and everything else. There you go, you got it.
That's working.
Yeah.
Like I said before, it wouldn't trip.
Yeah.
And even after my Buick, it would just, now they fixed it. I still can't believe Mike saw me at the Blazer, but it's not like I go there 16 times a day.
Yeah, look how many times you see Zach. He knew more places Zach been than you did.
Was there last night?
You know something?
Been
It
with
shows you.
And then before that, that's like the third time I've been there in like 20 years.
It fucking shows you, though, how invisible somebody in a uniform is. You don't pay attention to the gas meter reader, the postman.
I didn't even have my own car.
Yeah. Yeah, who pays attention to the UPS guy? He's just in the background there, normal part of shit you see every day. You don't pay attention to it. Perfect disguise.
Unbelievable.
All right, Scott.
I should be around next week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the next couple episodes of Boardwalk Empire and Walking Dead. The governor
At
is
least
back.
there's an episode at least every week.